Hello, this is mendokusai. I've been meaning to put together some videos doing photo story tips, but I haven't yet. But I figured that I would make a little video going over the photo story that I posted for Valentine's Day, which is called That's What She Said. Whoop. I apologize for any random weird camera movements because I'm sitting on an exercise ball. But here's the photo story. It starts out with Volt playing a freaking video game, of course, because apparently that's the only way I can think of to start a photo story with him. And Meryl pops up and is being Meryl, pretty obnoxious, and accuses him of ignoring her. And then she is being silly. And so I wanted to just kind of run through it really quick and go over posing choices and, you know, why I frame pictures certain ways, you know, just some of the choices that I made while shooting it. Since it starts out with Volt sitting there staring mindlessly at the TV, which secretly is that way, I usually try to cover up back here with his wig if I can, and depending on the picture, I usually try to uncover part of his eye, because usually when I'm focusing pictures, I focus on the eye. Let's see, get the typical slumped over gamer stance. Try to pretend like he's playing. Volt usually has one foot sticking out. Sometimes, not all the time. Typically though, and I apologize for the Goosebumps blanket. It's slobber prevention against our Mastiff. Since Meryl comes up, who is in her shorts because I already changed her out of her skirt, my table is too tall for, you know, her to actually stand up, so I put some notebooks to stand her on. Obviously, this is hard with the camera. And then she has her hands up on the table in a childish fashion, looking at Volt. I'm not really gonna bother fixing her hair because I don't feel like it. Depending on how the picture is looking, I usually scoot them like closer to each other or further away from each other, as long as it's not a huge noticeable difference. It makes the pictures look a lot better. And there's a dog in the background, fantastic. But zooming in, because, you know, you don't need to see the whole thing. You don't need some huge picture with all the crap in the background. We're focusing on Meryl talking, so we focus on Meryl. And you can see, obviously, you know, that Volt is playing a video game because it's right here, haha. And then, you know, we circle around, come to her, and she's talking, blah blah blah. And then we see Volt because he starts talking and he says, when we unblock his eyes so we can actually see it, he says he's not ignoring her We're still zoomed in close because it's kind of a close conversation. And really I should have included another picture to cue in the fact that maybe he's just a little irritated or something. But just to give Meryl more time to actually put up her hood like she does. But then we go to just Volt as he gives in to her obnoxiousness. And then, you know, she has her hood up being silly, like, ta-da! And she looks like a scuba girl. Then she is irritating him, facepalm, and wiggling her arms around like wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. When there's multiple dolls in the shot, make sure that doesn't fall. Like when Volt is facepalming, and there's really not a whole lot of dialogue to really focus on. What I do and what I've found is best is you try to focus the picture on either, you know, the primary movement in the frame or the person who talks first. With this, when really she should have her arms up because, you know, she's doing the let's see. We're focusing on Volt's annoyance, so the camera gets focused on him. And then he helps her up onto the table and gives her crap for, you know, climbing things while in a skirt. I brought her up on the table because San was gonna get brought in, and I wanted to have an easier time framing the picture with the three of them. Her shorts are too tight. When Meryl was sitting here throughout the photo story, I was scooting her and Volt closer to each other, or further back from each other, depending on how the picture needed to be framed. Volt ends up holding the Wiimote in just one hand, so I had to make sure to pay careful attention to not let that fall, so that the pictures would stay consistent. And when they're talking to each other, once again focusing on whoever is talking first, and Volt's giving her crap, blah blah blah. Try to not get my finger in the shot. And then Volt says, "What kind of sick degenerate?" And then San conveniently pops up. Cue a laugh track. Ha 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 ha, San's a sick degenerate. We all know that.